All right, let's dive into Zara. Okay, today we're going to take a look at how Zara became such a fashion powerhouse. They kind of left competitors like Gap and H&M and Benetton in the dust.
Yeah.
And we've got some excerpts from the Zara case study to help guide our deep dive.
Great.
So, what's really remarkable, I think, is just the massive growth
Oh, yeah.
of Zara
Incredible.
from 2001 to 2014.
Yeah, I mean, between 2001 and 2014, their sales just exploded. I mean, they went from 3.25 billion to a whopping 18.1 billion.
Wow.
And then their profits, too. They followed a similar trajectory, going from 340 million to 2.5 billion.
Yeah, and this is all while the post-2008
Exactly.
economic crisis.
The whole retail world was reeling, and Zara just seemed to come out on top.
Yeah, so they were really thriving in that time period.
Absolutely.
And it's not like they were, keeping the same footprint.
Right.
Their stores grew from like 1,284 to 600 and 683 stores.
And in 88 countries?
In 88 countries.
I mean, that's basically a new store practically every day for 14 years straight.
It's insane. That's like one store every day for 14 years.
Yeah.
Wild. And not just in any location.
Oh, no.
They were getting the prime real estate.
It went for like Fifth Avenue, the Champs-Élysées, Ginza in Tokyo. I mean, they really understood the power of being in those high-end shopping districts.
Totally, yeah. They were going for global dominance.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, they're growing. They're getting all the best locations
Yeah.
and just raking in the profits.
Yeah.
So what's the secret sauce?
Right. Well, Zara's CEO, Pablo Ayla, he actually said it best. He said, quote, "Our strategy is clear. Find out what our customers want and design, produce, and distribute it quickly."
Simple, right.
But there's more to it than just speed.
Yeah.
Jesus Echevarria, who's their chief communications and corporate affairs officer, he added to that by saying that it's not really about fast fashion.
Yeah.
It's about accurate fashion.
I love that.
Right.
It's not just like trendy clothes quickly, but understanding.
You got to understand what the customers really want and then give it to them.
Yeah.
And that's where the data comes in. Zara uses data a lot. Their store managers play a really crucial role.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. They give feedback in real time, what's selling, what's not.
Wow.
They're like the eyes and ears of the company.
It's like a direct line to the customers. That's got to be so valuable.
It is, totally. And that customer-centric approach is like in everything Zara does.
Okay.
You know Miguel Diaz,
Yeah.
the finance director back in 2001, he had a great quote. He said, "It is critical for us to have 5 fingers touching the factory and the other 5 touching the customer."
So they're always in this feedback loop.
Always.
They're constantly like getting feedback and then being responsive.
It's a conversation.
Yeah, amazing.
It really is. They've really integrated design, production, distribution, and retail, all of that.
Yeah.
And because of that, they can get new products out in like 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That's, I mean, faster than some pizza places.
It is. In the fashion world, that's unheard of. Usually it's months.
Right.
But how do they do it?
Yeah, how do they do it?
Well, one of the main things is production. They prioritize doing it in-house,
Okay.
and they source a lot of their materials from nearby places like Spain, Portugal, Morocco, and other countries in Europe.
Well, it's strategic.
Oh, yeah. They're not just thinking about cutting costs. It's about having more control over the quality and getting things done fast.
They've got to be agile.
Exactly.
So they can get things done quickly.
Yeah. They do work with some suppliers worldwide, over 1,600 of them, but they're really picky about who they partner with.
I bet.
They want long-term relationships built on trust. They need suppliers who are as committed to quality and speed as they are.
It's like a finely tuned machine, right?
Exactly. And speaking of finely tuned machines, let's talk about Zara's inventory strategy. It's kind of a head-scratcher.
Okay, I'm intrigued.
They have a really low preseason inventory commitment. Most retailers commit to like 80-100% of their inventory up front. Zara, 15-20% for fashion products, 40% for basics.
Wait, but then how do they not run out of the hot items?
That's where their system comes in. They have this strict twice-weekly ordering process with like really tight deadlines, and they're using technology to track everything in real time so they can adjust really quickly if they need to.
So they're minimizing risk,
Minimizing risk.
but staying very flexible.
Very flexible. They respond to actual demand, not just predictions.
So brilliant. Okay, that makes sense.
And then in the stores, they don't put a lot of each item out on display.
Really?
Yeah, it creates this sense of urgency. You gotta get it now or you might miss out.
FOMO.
Exactly.
It's so smart. It's like they're playing on like our desire
Oh, yeah.
to have things that not everyone else has.
They've turned shopping into, like, this treasure hunt.
Totally.
And it works because it minimizes waste, keeps their margins healthy. They move things around to different stores if they're not selling well, and they almost never do big discounts.
So they keep that sense of value.
Exactly. Okay, now let's switch gears a little bit and talk about design. Where do these amazing clothes come from?
Right.
Picture this, okay. You're at their headquarters in La Coruña, Spain. Big open space. About 350 people, designers, country managers, buyers, all working together, throwing ideas around. They call it the commercial team.
So it's not just the designers like off in their own little world. It's like everyone's collaborating.
Exactly. Constant flow of information keeps them ahead of the trends.
Wow, it's like a fashion think tank.
It really is. They're always thinking, what's next?
Yeah.
And remember those store managers? They don't just tell the headquarters what's selling and not selling. They give qualitative feedback, too.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, like what customers are saying, what they're looking for. That all feeds back into the design process.
This is all connected. The stores, the designers, the customers.
Totally. It's a constant dialogue. And that, I think, is really at the heart of Zara's success. They've created this system where every piece is interconnected and responsive.
A well-oiled machine.
Exactly. So now, the big question. How do they take this model and conquer the world with it?
That's what I want to know.
Let's talk about Zara's global expansion strategy.
All right. I can't wait to hear how they navigated different markets and cultures.
It's quite a story. Zara's approach to going global was all about control, They didn't just jump in anywhere. They really thought it through.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, fashion is so different everywhere you go.
Exactly. Take Japan, for instance.
Yeah.
You can't just waltz in with a European model and expect it to work.
So what do?
Joint ventures. They teamed up with people who really understood Japan, the culture, the customers, everything.
So they had people on the ground who could guide them.
Exactly. It helped them find the best locations, figure out the right products.
So they weren't afraid to adapt.
Not at all. They did the same thing in Italy, another tough market, lots of competition.
Okay.
And Germany, too. Actually, a lot of other retailers struggled there. But Zara took it slow, worked with local experts, and it paid off.
So they really learned from those experiences.
They did, and when they went to India, joint ventures were actually necessary at first because of legal stuff.
Interesting.
So they were strategic, but they also knew when to be flexible and work within the rules.
Always thinking ahead.
Always. Of course, some people wondered if their way of doing things, with so much control from headquarters, could really work on a global scale.
Right. You need to appeal to different tastes, different cultures.
For sure. But Zara made it clear. They might control the design and production, but the local teams had a lot of power, too.
Oh, so they had a say in things?
Absolutely. Things like what to put on display, setting prices, even how the store itself was laid out.
So good balance of global vision.
And local flavor.
And local flavor, like
Yeah.
an orchestra.
Exactly. Okay, let's shift gears now. Let's talk about the online world.
Right. This is huge.
Yeah.
How did Zara, a company known for its stores, deal with the rise of online shopping?
Carefully, actually.
Oh.
They knew online was growing, but they didn't just jump right in. First, they tested the waters with a catalog.
Smart.
It let them see what people were interested in.
Gather some data.
Exactly. Then, in 2010, they launched their online store.
Ah,
And it was a success. It didn't hurt their store sales at all.
really?
In fact, something interesting happened.
Tell me.
A lot of people who shopped online chose to pick up their orders at the store.
So they were still coming into the store.
Exactly. It was a win-win.
They blended online and offline seamlessly.
That's the idea. And that's what a lot of customers want these days.
Right, they want options.
Options and convenience. Okay, let's switch gears again. Ready for something totally different?
Always.
Let's talk about how Zara advertises. Or rather, how they don't.
I'm very curious about this because I feel like we see ads for their competitors everywhere.
Well, get ready to be surprised because Zara's approach is totally unique. So Zara, they don't really do traditional advertising. It's almost like they're going against the grain,
Yeah. They must have a really strong brand identity if they can get away with that.
They do. And they think their stores are their best ads. They're always in the best locations, sometimes even these amazing eye-catching buildings.
Oh, totally. Like their flagship store
Yeah.
on Fifth Avenue in New York. It's huge. 4 floors.
Yeah.
And it's in this beautiful old building. They restored it.
Exactly. And it's not just New York. Their store in Hong Kong is 6 stories high. These stores are like landmarks, you know?
It's true. They're experiences, not just stores.
Exactly. And because they change their collections so often, there's always something new. People get excited about it. They tell their friends.
Word of mouth is powerful.
The best kind of advertising. So they're saving money on ads, but they also have to keep up with all the changes happening in the industry.
Right. Staying agile is key for them.
Absolutely. I mean, they're global now, so it's not just about speed anymore. It's about understanding all these different markets, different cultures, different climates, and of course, different fashion preferences.
Yeah, finding that balance between their signature style and what people actually want in each place must be tricky.
It is. It's a challenge. And then there's logistics, getting all the new clothes to all those stores all over the world on time.
It's like a giant puzzle, right? With so many moving pieces.
It is. And then on top of that, fashion changes so fast, they have to be ahead of the trends.
They have to predict the future, basically.
Pretty much. And they need to make sure their system can handle all this growth. Can their way of doing things still work as they get bigger and bigger?
It's a good question. Can they scale up without losing what makes them special?
Right. And we can't forget about sustainability. People are more aware of the impact of fast fashion. So Zara has to find ways to be more ethical and eco-friendly.
That's a big one, and it's only getting bigger.
It is. And then, of course, there's online shopping. It's changing everything. Can Zara, a company known for its stores, really succeed online?
So many questions. But it seems like they're taking steps to address them.
They are. They're opening new distribution centers, using technology to improve communication, working with their suppliers to make things more ethical, and exploring sustainable materials.
They're not standing still.
Nope. They're always trying new things. New store formats, pop-up shops, smaller stores. They're even looking into virtual and augmented reality, to make the shopping experience even cooler.
So they're embracing the future.
Absolutely. They're not just riding the wave, they're trying to create the wave.
Well, I hope this deep dive into Zara was insightful for everyone listening. We saw how they went from a small Spanish company to a global fashion leader.
We talked about their customer focus, their efficient operations, how they use data, and how they adapt to change.
Hopefully you can take some of these ideas and apply them to your own work, whether you're in business or just interested in how things work.
It's all about keeping your eyes open, questioning what you think you know, and never stopping learning. The world's changing fast.
That's for sure. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into Zara. Until next time.